This is solo P1. Whoa, let's get this keyboard on here. This is solo P1. This is going to be the debrief episode 5 at Miami. This is very late at night. I wasn't even going to do it today, but well, I've got to do it. So I'm going to bring in TOTO. Ama! TOTO. How you going, bro?
Yeah, I'm going good. Yeah, I'm just going good. Of course, there was,
How are you going,
today.
bro? How are you going, bro?
I'm going good, yeah. I'm going good.
Did you watch the Man City game today with the Champions League?
I did a bit. I didn't watch it all, but I did a bit towards like 20, 30 minutes towards the end.
Yeah. I thought, like, because whoever's watching this were Liverpool fans. This is what we do on here. We do Liverpool watch-alongs, Liverpool reviews. And we just wanted to watch the Champions League, really. And I know I watched it. I watched all of it. TOTO, you caught some of it. And, yeah, it was a good game, 1-1. I think it's in Man City's favour now. He's gonna the second leg's up there, ground. I think Man City are going to get through. But Man City's going to win the Champions League anyway. But this is about Formula One. And what an interesting weekend it was. Well, not interesting. I'll phrase that again. Boring weekend it was for Formula One. There was this shows the debrief, okay? This is what we do. We come on here and we just relax, have a drink, have a cup of tea, sit back, and we just talk through the weekend about strategy and what teams could have done better with strategy. So today we are talking about, we don't do all the strategy. We don't go through every team's strategy, because if that was the case, the video would be 3 hours long, and I'm not sure you want to look at my ugly face for 3 hours. Yeah. So the one what we're gonna pick out today is Sergio Perez. Now, Sergio Perez started off on the medium tires, and then his stint when he came into the pits, he came onto the hard tires. Now, Sergio Perez got told that was the best strategy. Now, in Mercedes, whoever gets in front gets the best strategy. They get the pick of the best strategy. We know this, okay? That's how it should be in Formula One when you got your teammate, okay? The one who gets pole, the one who's in front, usually gets the best strategy. Now, this was coming from very good, reliable source, and he's put this out in the domain so everybody can see it. Now, this is from Peter Windsor, someone I really got respect for. It should be a Hall of Famer. Should be knighted, in my opinion. But he come out and he said that they was told that Pirelli said that the best strategy was to start on the medium tire. No, the hard tire. Oh. That was the strategy, the hard tire. This is the reason why Lewis Hamilton started on the strategy. This is the reason why George Russell started on this strategy. And this is the reason why Max Verstappen started on this strategy. But Sergio Perez, no. He got told to start on the medium tires. Now, I'm going to ask Toto Hammer. There's a lot of rumors going around. You know how the internet is with all this strategy, and you know where I stand on this. If you've been following me all this time, you know where I stand. Now, I'm asking Toto, where do you think... There you go. I'm just testing it out. I'm just testing it out. Look at these emojis. There you go. I'm going to ask Toto, where do you stand? Do you think that Red Bull knew... Obviously, that's a rhetorical question. I'm just asking you anyway. Do you think Red Bull knew that their mission was to get Max with a better strategy than Perez? I'm asking you.
Well, of course, because Pirelli set the winning strategy to hard medium. That's what Verstappen went for. And Perez went for the slower strategy, which is not the winning strategy.
You think
and he's the one that got pole. So
you think he knew?
But again, I think they did. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
Because Pirelli set the winning strategy.
No,
hard
but do you
medium.
think Perez
That's what
knew?
Max
Do you think Perez knew he was getting done over? Probably not.
Listen, probably or probably not. I don't know. I can't tell that. But you can see that Verstappen was on a winning strategy because Perez, when he pitted, and Verstappen was staying up, Perez was on 10-lap used tyres. 10-lap used tyres, and Verstappen was on the same hard tyres from the start and setting better lap times. It's either a tenth quicker, 2 tenths quicker, or just there. But it's usually a tenth or 2 tenths. And it was setting way better lap times, and Perez was on the 10-lap used tyres, mediums, and Verstappen was on the hard tyres, which personally I think was the better tyre because of course it lasts longer and you can go for a longer stint and go for a faster tyre at the end.
Yeah.
And that's why it was a winning strategy. Perez was on the medium tyres.
The worst.
So he goes aggressive at the beginning, but at the end he's on the hards. And then when Verstappen pits, he'll be on fresh mediums to easily take Perez. It reminds me of Abu Dhabi when Hamilton was on used hard tyres.
Yeah.
And then Verstappen pitted for the softs. And then he was on fresh softs, and easily went past Hamilton. And it was similar situation to this.
Now, we all knew what happened at Abu Dhabi 2021. But anyway,
yeah,
it's not about that. This is look. I'm reading on Twitter and I'm reading a few tweets what are coming there. One guy says, "I do not understand how Verstappen started for 9th on the hard tyres and beat his teammate who started on the mediums, but more than 5 seconds in a race without a safety car. What am I missing? You're not missing nothing. This is. I'm not gonna tell you who this is. This is just someone who follows Formula One. He's got a big following on Formula One. Kind of got respect for him to an extent, but yeah. Listen, Pirelli. I wouldn't be surprised. Pirelli told them which the best strategy was. Now, obviously, what they told Perez was something different. They probably said to Perez, "No, Perez, this is the best strategy." There's no 2 separate garages in in Red Bull. There's one garage, and that garage belongs to Max Verstappen. It's all his garage. It's not Perez's garage and Max's garage. It belongs to both of them. No, it belongs to one person, and that's Max Verstappen. Because if Pirelli are telling Red Bull that this is the best strategy, why are Checo's engineers are not telling Perez this is the best strategy? If anything, Perez was on the worst strategy. He was on the worst strategy. Now, people are saying, "Oh yeah, maybe it's like that, maybe it isn't." Yes, what it boils down to is the boss of Red Bull, obviously not the owner, but there's the guy of Red Bull is Christian Horner. Christian Horner wants Max Verstappen to win the world title. We know this. Perez is just a sideman. They brought Perez in to be a sideman for Max Verstappen. Now, I'd have more respect for Christian Horner if he just come out and said to us, "You know what? Max is our guy. Perez is just a Joey, a lackey." I'd have more respect for him if he said that, but obviously he's not. Now, it was obviously that strategy was for Max Verstappen. Perez, in my opinion, got blatantly robbed. If Checo Perez would have been on Max Verstappen's strategy, right, the hard, then the mediums, he would have won. Checo would have won. And there's a lot of people are saying that, and I tend to agree with them. That's just my opinion. The best was the hard tyres. Now, what's his name?
What?
Hamilton. I forgot his name. Hamilton, for me, should have got driver of the day. The thing about it, I didn't really see the end of it. As soon as the race was on the last lap, I kind of switched my TV off and moved on and said, let's move on to Imola. Because I didn't want to see all that move. That national anthem kind of gets me angry. Hearing that national anthem over and I was even getting bored of Hamilton's, the British national anthem. Every week, every fortnight, whenever there was a race, I was getting bored of that national anthem. There's only so much national anthem you can hear, and then you just get bored of it. And that national anthem, I just said, look, he's won the race, let's turn it off and let's move on. And then I started to work on my podcast and started getting ready for my videos. I'd rather do it that way because this race was probably the worst race of the year so far. It was the worst race, and it was just like I predicted. Now, what did you think of Hamilton's 38-lap strategy? Because he done 38-lap strategy on the hard tyres. So what do you think of Lewis Hamilton doing 38 laps on them hard tyres? What did you think? Was you just praying for a safety car? Because I was. What do you think? How he managed the tyres?
At his position, Russell was catching him up really quickly.
Yeah, but Russell was in front. Russell was in front, mate.
I know, but when he was behind him, Russell was catching up really quickly.
Because he was on a different strategy, that's why.
I know. And I think when he pitted in, what new tyres are pitted in for hards?
Nah, I pitted him for the mediums. He was on the hards first.
Mediums.
He was on the same strategy as most everybody else.
Mediums towards the end. And it was a good strategy. It was a good strategy because he was at the points, but then he overtook lots and lots of more cars. I think overtook like 5 or 6 cars, and it allowed him to go into the points and finish 6th place. So it worked out good for Hamilton, and I think the strategy worked out good. And it was a good drive for him. It was a good drive.
I thought he should have got driver of the day. He started on the 30th place, and he started 13th, and then he ended up being 6th. I think if he wouldn't have got held up in the traffic at the beginning, I think he could have finished. I
know, because as soon as the beginning, he went straight into a DRS train, and you know that is not good because you know it's dirty air, and of course people are just all on DRS. But unless you're a Red Bull car, which goes an extra 70 miles per hour on the DRS, it's going to be hard for you.
Yeah, and what else was a bit weird as well is the fact that it seems like that there wasn't. It seems like there wasn't. He had no power in his car. It seems like he's not really happy with that car, Lewis Hamilton. You know, he's not happy with that car. He doesn't trust the car, and you could see that the way he was struggling around in corners. A Haas passed him. He was struggling to. He didn't pass him, but the Haas was struggling. He was struggling to pass a Haas in that car. That's how much confidence Lewis has got in that car, and that's what it's done to him now. When these new upgrades come, we'll see what happens at Imola. When these new upgrade comes, have you got faith that Mercedes are going to try and turn it around with these upgrades?
Of course, they're going to be getting a new wing. Basically, are almost different car. But I think coming to this race, I think this race was track specific because the other races before this track, I think Mercedes were doing all right. And I think they're all getting consistent top 5s, top 6s. They're all getting consistent points. But I think down to this track, I don't think it suits their car. I think as soon as Imola comes, we're back to tracks. We're not in street tracks. We're back to Europe. We're back to the normal tracks, and I think that's where they could excel. But the thing is, if we don't excel, I'll be scrapping this car focus onto next year.
Yeah,
because basically they're having a new, entire different car.
Next year.
Don't get me wrong. It's not a different car, but they're getting some good upgrades on there. New wing, new parts, new everything. Yeah?
New floor.
And if it don't work out, scrap the car, go on to the next one.
Zero side pods.
Because they cannot just keep on. Don't get me wrong. The parts, we don't know if it's going to be good enough to beat Red Bull because Red Bull has got the fastest car on the grid by miles.
Yeah.
At this point, and they stopped developing after Baku. And they're still quick. And look, we don't know what's going on in that team. They could be still upgrading. We don't know. But as it stands, Red Bull have stopped upgrading. They're still quick. And I think as soon as Mercedes put these upgrades on, if they don't work after Imola, because Imola should be a great track for them because they were good last year, and Imola this should be a great track for them. And if it don't work out, just forget it, man.
I know. That's just the way it has to be. Yeah, I agree. I think, the other thing I think Mercedes made a mistake. I thought Mercedes should have abandoned this car last year. They should have done what Aston
Change
Martin
the
done.
concept.
Yeah, completely new concept. Copy the Red Bull car, the way they was going similar. Go that way. Because I think what they've done, because, you know, they got Allison in there now. They've changed a few stuff around. They've lost a lot of key staff at Mercedes. A lot of people we don't even know. Key.
I think they've lost Mike Elliott.
Well, they brought James Allison back, haven't they? It's James
Yeah,
Allison
yeah.
they brought back. So, but what I'm trying to say, they've lost a lot of key people, personnel that we don't even know, that will key people
Yeah.
to that team. And what's happening now is that they're scrapping around and saying, look, we got this upgrade. But I heard today on the internet, this is from the Mercedes, official Mercedes news, that they've figured out how to get the power like Red Bull in the DRS zone. Now, if that is,
I've heard of that, yeah.
if that is correct, yeah, and if that's correct, I'm on board for that. Because if they can get the speed similar to Red Bull in the DRS zone, if they can figure out how to produce that on the Mercedes car, if they can produce something like that, then it's all happy days. Because at the moment the season is a whitewash already. We're not even a quarter of a way through the season and everybody's giving up already. It seems like the fans just don't care. I listen to a lot of podcasts, proper podcasts, not the official F1 podcast, proper podcast, people who are going to give their opinion, not sit on the fence because I want to get a job by F1, proper podcast, someone similar to me. I listened to them and they gave up already. And these are people that are not even Mercedes fans. It's not a Mercedes thing. It's a race thing.
Yeah.
People want to see wheel-to-wheel racing. People want to see the midfield wheel-to-wheel. It's nothing. It's just a train of cars. Every race, what starts, you get the first two what go out, 2 Red Bulls, and after that, everyone's just scrapping for after.
No, it's so annoying. Linking onto your point where you said the train of cars.
Yeah.
Not so annoying. It's like, say someone has a good race. Say, for an example, Hamilton. He's coming through the pack. But you know what actually mashed up his race?
Well,
It's either soon as DRS activates and as soon as I get into that dirty air, it doesn't matter what slipstream you have, what overtake you have. It's just a big DRS train. That's how they made it now.
yeah.
And this close racing by the FIA, it's not close racing. It's just Red Bull dominating. And if you're not a Red Bull fan, if you are a Red Bull fan, yeah, they'll probably say, "Oh yeah, it's a exciting season."
No, not
necessarily.
necessarily. Not necessarily. I've known a lot of Red Bull fans.
I'm not saying all of them.
I don't know them.
I'm not
I don't
saying
know
all of
them, but I've heard that even they're saying that this season's boring. Because, see, I remember I've heard Red Bull fans say, you know what? This season's finished already. They said, look, I'm happy that Max, that's actually saying, the Red Bull fans are saying, we're actually happy. We're happy that Max Verstappen is winning, but there's no competition. There's no competition. Now, they said that after that penalty they got right for cheating, the cost cap, they said that's not really going to show until 2024. I'm still a bit skeptic about that, right? Now, they get punished. They've come in this year and their car's even better. Now, they're saying, oh, we're going to have to wait till next year. Then we'll start seeing the punishment. We'll see what happens. I'm not thinking to myself that Red Bull are going to get punished. I don't trust his organisation anymore. And that's just the way it is. I don't trust the organisation. But on for the strategy, I think that Red Bull knew exactly what they was doing with Checo. They're basically saying to Checo, you weren't winning anything. Go on.
Yeah. And the medium tyres, they were the worst tyre. They were going off so quickly. That's what I don't understand. It makes sense that if you're near the back, you go the softer tyre and try do something, try and make some spaces. What they did, they made Verstappen on the first strategy. I know if I would explain this, but they made Verstappen go on the hard tyre strategy and Perez on a medium tyre, which medium tyres are usually for the ones near the back so they can go an aggressive strategy. But the medium tyres were going off so quick. And that's why the medium tyres always pitted so earlier. So they go for the hard tyres and try nurse some tyres to the end. But I think the medium tyres were the worst choice of tyres. Soft tyres are never going to be used unless you're going for fastest lap, 2 laps towards the end. Soft tyres are never going to be used because they'll wear out so easily. And I think Verstappen, when it was on them hard tyres, and I think it was great time management from Verstappen, because I know Red Bull put him on the harder strategy and the best strategy where to go long and then go on the soft tyre at the end. But I think Verstappen, why he nursed some tyres for a little bit longer, because I know hard tyres at that race can last ages, but I think his tyre management is what nursed some tyres even more to go on the longest stint, like with Alonso at the beginning. What tyres did Alonso start on? Medium hards? I think it was medium, wasn't it?
I don't know, you know.
I think it was me. I think
really
it was
know.
mediums because I think at the beginning of the race he started on mediums. I think.
Yeah.
And on the radio he said, because medium, he said on his radio that Alonso said on his radio, I think -5 + 12, something like that, like a little code, and I'm basically saying they were going to pick 11 laps before. And as soon as that 11 laps before hit, they said, we're extended. So time management could be a factor in this. And I think Verstappen's time management was good.
Yeah. But because he was on the best strategy.
I know.
He was on the best strategy.
And I'll link on to Alonso again. They were saying plan A -12. So I'm going to pick 12 laps earlier. But as soon as that 12 laps earlier hit, they extended. And of course, Verstappen had the best time management.
Yeah. And
as explaining now, on lap 29 of the race, where Perez was having a 31.9 on his fresh, 10 laps used, hard tyres to go to the end. And Verstappen was on his, he was on his hard tyres from the beginning and got 31.7. 2 tenths quicker than Perez.
You think they should have kept Perez out longer?
I don't think it would have made a difference, sir, because
they ruined him. They ruined him, didn't they? They ruined him.
Because Verstappen, if he would have pitted for his mandatory pit stop, he would have been on the softer tyre. And then Perez, when he would have pitted, he can't do medium because that's not allowed. It would be illegal. You'd probably get a grid penalty or something like that.
Yeah.
Or disqualification. But Perez had to do his mandatory compound because he started on the mediums and he either have to go hard, soft, or wet tyres. So he went for the so Red Bull put him on medium to hard, so he had to go for the hard or soft. So he went hard to the end. And Verstappen would have still been on the softer tyre. So at the end of the day, right, Verstappen would have still catched him up.
Because he was on the run strategy. The free strategies, what was there, the free strategies, that was what Pirelli gave was the one-stop strategy was medium to hard, right? And that was the same strategy as last year. They implemented that in the last year. That will be between 12 to 20 laps before you want to pit. That was from medium to hard. That's the strategy that Perez was on, medium to hard. And and that was basically you would have to pick between 12 to 20, lap 12 to 20. That's if you want to go that long, it depends, but that's what Pirelli recommended for the tyres. Now, strategy 2 was medium to hard. That was basically medium to hard to soft. That was 2-stop. You could have went for that one. That was one strategy. Maybe you could have probably pulled it off. If you was in the Red Bull, maybe you could have pulled it off for medium. So that was 2-stopper, medium to hard to soft. And the last strategy, which was the best strategy in my opinion, the best strategy was from hard to medium, and this strategy, and this strategy 3 was another 2-stopper, soft, medium, hard, and the strategy 2 was a 2-stopper that was medium, hard, soft. But the best strategy, obviously, as we know, was medium to hard. No, hard to
I
medium.
think the two stopper. Yeah,
There was
I
two
think that could have
stoppers.
worked out good because
Maybe.
you start off on the mediums.
Yeah. Hard then
You go
soft.
on a long stint on the hard,
Then soft
and
at the
then
end.
for your third stint, you go for the soft at the end. So that could have worked out if if you come out at the back and you go for an aggressive strategy,
Yeah.
and you got the car to pull it off, like you said, the Red Bull, Ferrari, some decent car that can actually get you up there. I think that two stop strategy could have worked.
So I'll
But
go
of
for
course,
it
the
again.
best strategy was the one
I'll
stopper.
say it again, but because there was a few on here. It's basically one stop strategy was medium to hard. Right? The strategy 2, which was a 2-stopper, medium, hard, soft, and the strategy 3 was another 2-stopper, soft, medium, hard. I think the soft, medium, hard was good. I would have went for the soft. Try and get the soft, medium, hard is going to cater to the cars at the back. Because when you're in the soft tires, you get more speed. Obviously, you get more speed, but you get more graining on the tires. So if it was me and I was like, if I was like ninth back and I was like, I want to try and get through the crowd fast, I would have had the soft just to try and get through. That obviously, they would have grained. Coming for the medium, do your normal stint, and then coming again and do the hard. That's the one I would have done if I was near the back. But I was surprised I never saw more teams doing that strategy. Nobody done that strategy, but I would have went for that one. You got nothing to lose when you're at the back. Yeah, so yeah, man. That was interesting talk about the Grand Prix. So before we go, you think Perez? What do you think Perez's chances and for the next race, Perez? And then after that, I'll ask you about
Perez,
Mercedes.
I know we're back to Shrek. I think I just don't know, man. This Miami, yeah, he should have won this easy. He should have won this easy. He had the dream of a start. No one even got close to him at the start. He had a good launch control. He had a wicked start with 5/10 already ahead. Perez had the dream start, and then Verstappen, Red Bull's golden boy, Horner's golden boy, yeah, had to just ruin it all. Always had to ruin it. Because the new Perez, if we won this race, he would have been on top of the championship. I don't care what anybody says.
He would have. He would have.
And look, Perez, and they know that Perez is on form right now, yeah, and he's driving basically in his prime, and he's doing good, Perez, and this is his only chance to win, have even a sniff of a world champ title, if you got a Red Bull behind you,
yeah,
because all Red Bull is favoritism. That's all it is.
Yeah,
just like Mark Webber and Vettel. Mark Webber said it out on Malaysia Grand Prix 2011, 12, something like that. Mark Webber and Vettel had that awesome, wicked battle, wheel-to-wheel battle, respectful battle, and then Mark Webber said
that was 13.
Vettel will have his protection as usual. So look, Red Bull, yeah, is always known for favoritism, favoritism with Max.
Yeah, the favourite, the younger driver.
Yeah.
And I don't care about whoever knows it as well. You might as well just come out and say it, because everybody knows what you're doing. Then he comes out and he's horn and he tries to reverse. Comes out and he makes out he doesn't know what's going on, but he does. Obviously he does. The thing about it, the problem that Perez has got, if the powers to be up there in the office, the bosses don't want you to win, you're not going to win. They'll do everything in their power for you not to win. They'll give him the crappiest strategy ever. They gave him the worst strategy. They could give him Max 1. He was in front. He should have got pick of the strategy. And obviously the engineers told him this is the best strategy. And they knew it wasn't the best strategy, but they still gave him because Horner probably said, this is the strategy he's having. And that's it. And they've probably sold it to him and said, look, this is the best strategy. You've got the best strategy. Trust me. Start on the mediums and hard. You'll be good to go. No. But Perez is one of them. He should have listened. He should have learned. But obviously he's learnt now. But has he learnt? We don't know. Now, before we go, Hamilton, Mercedes, I thought that was good of him to hand over obviously there was on different strategies, but this big upgrade coming in Imola. We know they're going to have a new concept next year, but what do you think of Mercedes now? And before we go, do you think it's going to be a good upgrade? I know I asked you before, but I'm just gonna ask you again anyway. Before we
I
go.
know. Look, it could be not, but I think it's going to be. I'm not going to sit on the fence. I think it's going to be a good upgrade because why would the upgrade to downgrade? That's the thing. But I think Mercedes, I think would do good at Imola. We're back to tracks again. I'm sick and tired of these street tracks, man. I'm glad that we're back in Europe. Imola, good track for them.
Yeah.
I'm just repeating myself, but I'm going to repeat myself again. Last year they did good at Imola. I think this year they could do good. Of course, they're getting the upgrades. Let's hope they get at least close to Ferrari because Ferrari's always up there in the podium.
Yeah, and Aston Martin really. Aston Martin's the target.
Yeah, because Aston Martin and Ferrari are the underdog teams.
I think Aston Martin are better than Ferrari.
Slightly better advantage.
I don't know. I think Aston Martin has. I think Aston Martin.
It's close. It's close because one race Aston Martin could be ahead.
Yeah.
Because Alonso's been getting consistent. Alonso's having one of the best seasons of his life.
I know.
Because he's getting podiums after podiums. Not every race, but consistently. I think only the race before he didn't get a podium. That's the only time he never got a podium this season. All the time he's been getting third. Qualifying, he got second. So there you go. Alonso's had one of the best seasons in his life.
Yeah, and I'm glad he is as well. And I like Alonso. There's a lot of people.
I do as well.
There's a lot. I know you do. There's a lot of people, right? If you like Hamilton, you can't like Alonso. If you like Alonso, you can't like Hamilton. Blah 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 blah. I will like you. I want. I like Alonso and I like Lewis, and I don't care what anybody says, and that's it. I like both, and you're allowed to like both, and that's it. So we are knocking out now. This is it was a good debrief today, bro. It was a good debrief today, 37 minutes. You really went in it today. You really, listen, this is Toto Hammer, man. You're really coming into your own. Respect you, man. And you're coming to your own. Your podcasting skills are getting better. And you're starting to get your voice, show your voice. I can see it. So this is, before we go, by the way, there's the 2 QR codes. So if you watch this video, if you miss it, scan the QR codes, go follow Toto, subscribe to Toto Hammer. Scan my code. You'll see all our socials on there. Go follow Toto Hammer. See you later, guys. Toto Hammer's has got a video coming up this week. He's going to be talking about F1 and he's going to be talking about football as well. So look, he's got the Burning Rubber. Burning Rubber is his F1 podcast, and the Kickabout, which is his Liverpool one, and what's going on in football. So this is Solo P1 signing out. See you later, guys. Toto, you want to get the last word?
See you later, guys.